We are back at the Engineering Design Show. It is day 2. And in the studio now, we have Andy Treble from Euroquartz. Andy, for our audience that's not familiar with the brand, can you just summarize what you guys do?
Yeah, Euroquartz are a manufacturer of quartz crystals and military clock oscillators. In fact, I think we're probably the last in the UK now.
Okay.
We've been around since 1982, so we're quite an old brand that has been out in the marketplace for some time.
Okay, brilliant. What caught my attention yesterday, I was walking past the stand.
Yep.
You had a chat. I was explaining we were here with the Sustainable Engineering Alliance and our interest in low carbon manufacturing, sustainable attributes, that sort of thing. And you very quickly introduced me to your sustainability program.
Yep.
So I wanted to invite you over. Just explain, where did all this begin?
Okay.
What's it there for?
Well, we supply a lot of military and aerospace companies, and most of the large companies have their own sustainability programs running. And there's an inevitable wave, should we say, that it's heading in our direction. As a small company, it's not something that we would have embarked on without looking at what our customer base is doing.
Sure.
We're also members of JOSCAR, and JOSCAR has a couple of tools on there that we can use for building a sustainability program around and carbon zero footprint.
Yeah.
So that was where it originated, and we just decided to be a bit proactive and start our own process. One of the biggest problems is collating data from the downstream suppliers. Once you've collected your data, you then have to screen through it, validate it, do various calculations on it, and then you have to put together a mitigation program to actually improve on what you're doing. I think it's important to state that it isn't a one-off exercise. It's continuous. So it will continue ad infinitum until you actually get to a point which no one will ever get to. So it's just a continuous improvement of 3 factors, really: economic factors, environmental factors, and social factors, all to do with sustainability of the business. Obviously, the environmental side of it was probably where most of it started. Everyone having this environmental commitment to improve their environmental footprint. Economic-wise, it's important, obviously, to be making profit, if you like, because otherwise you're not going to be around to be sustainable for your end customer.
Yep.
And they're looking at their supply lines now with a view to feeding down some of these programs. So that's really encompasses what we've been doing.
Right.
The carbon zero side of it is quite interesting because there are certain factors that you can get off the government website, which gives you a multiplication factor for various aspects, such as travel, shipping, that sort of thing. So we're currently collating data on a weekly basis of everything coming into the business, everything going out of the business. And at the end of the year, we'll have 12 months worth of data to actually do a calculation on our carbon footprint.
Got it.
And then once we've got that, we can then look at mitigating it and improving it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. The work we've done here on things like the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, which a lot of the large European OEMs are committed to. The interesting thing there is it's very easy to assume that only applies to those big companies.
Yes.
But as you say, they need the information from their supply chain, and you are in that supply chain.
Correct.
And then you need to cascade that down to your suppliers.
Yeah.
And so regardless, everybody needs to play their part from what we can see, and you're clearly an example of that.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty with the downstream suppliers is actually validating the data they give you. Obviously, if the data isn't accurate, then your end calculations are nothing we have to. But it's just a challenge that's ongoing and will continue to be. And I think it's only a matter of time before small companies like Euroquartz are actually kind of forced into doing it anyway. So it's probably better to start off early and start putting things together. It's not perfect. We've got a long way to go, but it's the process we have started.
Interesting. We have a kind of dream that a bill of materials very soon will have an extra column where the sort of environmental impact of the devices, the data, that's where the data resides. Do you see that? Do you see a future that looks a bit like that? I
think it's quite possible, because from the sustainability programs that we're running, we will have that data. It's all encompassed with various other environmental directives like ROS, for instance. That just costs a lot of money to maintain. But I think it's inevitable it's going to happen. To be perfectly honest.
And one of the things we're hoping is, and I'm sure you'll find this, as you gather that data, it's going to show you where your hotspots are, where your areas of improvement could lie, maybe in waste reduction or energy efficiency.
One of the areas we've picked up on already is we have shipments coming in from our suppliers every week. If we went to 2 weekly shipment, we could reduce the carbon footprint very quickly. We just needed to do a bit of work on the logistical side of that for our end customers, but that's quite a simple thing. It gets a bit more tricky when you're actually having to find ways of reducing energy, which we already do anyway, and all our electricity comes from sustainable sources anyway. So when we're choosing an electricity supply, that's something we look at. So there's simple things you can do, but the more you do, the more you realise how complex a scheme it is, really.
One of the articles we published earlier in the year was an injection moulding company. It's interesting. They'd installed solar panels and battery storage, and so there were periods where they were running their factory effectively on carbon-free energies. So there is a general move in that direction.
I think like everything else, it takes time. You have to start somewhere. My advice to small companies is, if you don't necessarily commit to doing it today, start looking at it, because I think it's only a matter of time. And what you find with this sort of program is a lot of companies set up to actually say, oh, we can help you through this. The problem with that is they have absolutely no understanding of your business. So you still got to put the input in. So it's better to start putting building blocks in place first, I would suggest.
Fascinating. And where you've started, what's the next sort of milestone that you're going to get? You mentioned 12 months of data.
At the end of this year, we'll have a full 12 months set of data. Once we've collated that and done a few calculations on it, we could then say, okay, now we need to look at the mitigation factors. How can we mitigate against that figure? Can we reduce it? And put strategies in place to actually improve the carbon footprint, improve the environmental impact. So as I say, it is an ongoing process. It will continue. It's not something there is a one-off and say, here's our sustainability program. It's not going to be like that.
No, it's rolling.
It's rolling, and it's continuous improvement, which as an AS9100 approved company, we committed to that anyway. We have to have continuous improvement within the company. So it's not new to us.
Ties in quite nicely with the quality standard procedures.
And as I say, a lot of our customers are actually doing a lot of this work themselves anyway, and it's only a matter of time before they say, hey, you guys need to start stepping up to the plate. It's like the carbon zero. We don't actually have to subscribe to it because we're a small company. But by doing so, it sends a message out to our customers that we are committed to working with them on it. And we've already had quite a few phone calls from some of the primes saying, how long have you been doing this? Because on JOSCAR, it's all published on the JOSCAR database, which is open to them.
So there's a momentum inflation.
And I think it's beginning to gather pace, I would suggest. Because a lot of the primes have been running their sustainability programs for some time now. And they're becoming more mature, and they're actually starting to dig down the supply base. And that's when it will start hitting home.
Fascinating. Sounds like a wonderful bit of work you're doing. We'll keep in touch and we'll track what you're doing, because if you're kind of pioneering this at your company's scale, my guess is there are thousands of other companies at a similar scale that would be very interested to know how you're doing this, how you're achieving it.
Yep.
You know, any bottlenecks, any advice you can give. So yeah, outside this interview, we'll revisit this in more detail. And share some of your insights. That really
it'd be my pleasure.
Yeah, brilliant. Just to conclude our interview, I'm going to throw in two sort of light-hearted questions, which is how we're finishing these. So the first is, if you had to choose an engineering hero, who would it be?
I think it would probably be James Watt with his steam engine.
Oh,
Because that was quite advanced technology in the day. We tend to look at steam now and think it's just a steam engine.
yeah.
But back then, that was quite pioneering,
Yes.
cutting edge work,
Yeah.
and it's something that you don't see quite so much of these days.
Was his innovation the twin cylinder?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Yes. Which improved the efficiency
it did. Yeah,
of those engines dramatically.
yeah, because originally you just had to put a massive amount of power through one cylinder. When you split it up, it balanced everything out, reduced the.
Yes.
And
my final question: if there was one invention that you love and use or admire that you wish you'd invented, what would it be?
Well, strangely enough, when I was growing up, I was fascinated by this particular invention. A lot of my friends used to dig them out of the middle of the road, and that's the cat's eye.
Oh, yes.
In the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Always fascinated me how somebody developed this cat's eye that you could see at night.
So a cat's eye for you.
Yeah, I think a cat's eye. Yeah.
You're not the first guest to say cat's eye. So it's clearly something that has impacted engineers' minds quite dramatically.
It was such a simple design, really, but it was quite amazing and revolutionary.
Yeah.
Its day.
And saved who knows how many lives.
Correct. Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, John.
Andy. Brilliant.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.